So we are now down with cash, receivable, and inventory management. Take note guys, though you are not a business person yet, even though sa inyong personal usage lang, you could still apply this one. Though not literally everything, but at least the concept behind, for example, managing your cash. Diba? How will you manage your cash? How will you manage your receivable? Example, na yung mangutang nimo. So, maningil ba ka or unsa? So, it's up to you anyway, but in utilizing or managing this particular working capital is very important. Dapat efficient ang business or ang organization, and at the same time, dapat pud effective and efficiency. Okay? So, in layman's, cash means kwarta. But in business, cash covers a deeper scope, larger scope. Dili lang ang kwarta or ang coins or bills, but it also include kanang mga short-term securities like cash equivalents, mga short-term investment. So, money markets, they could still be considered as cash. Okay? So that's why in business, do not limit yourself. Cash management, dili lang meaning nga kwarta. Though majority is the cash na literal cash, but it should also include kaning mga marketable securities or short-term securities. So mas broader ang scope ni cash as to defined in business parlance. Kay kung sa tuwa pa, in layman's, cash is kwarta lang. Okay? But in business parlance, it goes beyond the kwarta nga concept. So the main aim of the cash management is to manage the cash flow, meaning you have to synchronize your inflow and outflow. Though there were times, most of the time, nga tong inflow o outflow is not balanced, meaning pwede ang cash inflow mas dako nung kasi tong cash outflow. There were also times na tong cash outflow is higher compared to our cash inflow, diba? So meaning mas daghan ang gawas nga money compare sa mosulod. That's very possible. Okay? Especially if your transaction involves credits. Balag dako kag sale, pero ang minisulod nga cash is lower because maybe ang ubang sales is giutang pa. There are also cases na mas dako kag inflows compared to outflows. Why? More likely, ang imong mga expenses giutang pa nimo. For example, kana sa imong inventory. Of course, not all the time you will pay your supplier through cash. Usually, ginautang. And it involves contract between you and the supplier. So that's why, napoy case nga atong outflow, gamay ra compare sa to ang inflow. So, first, there should be proper management of cash flow. Dili maayo nga super dako ang atong outflow, then wala na tay dili enough atong inflow. Sige ra tag pagawas og money, then wala tay enough inflow sa tong cash. Okay? Even though sa inyong personal daily ninyo, management sa inyong cash. Diba? If ang inyong allowance is once a week, and then you pay or you spend more than what you've received allowance, ipo na maayo. Okay? Next is, what if dili kay mo ganahan mo kuan? Inyong gi-hoard or inyong stay lang inyong money dira. wala kay mong gasto. But then, may mga necessary expenses na wala ninyo na provide. So, what will happen? Dili na okay? So, the management of cash flow is one of the key points or importance regarding the cash management. Aside from that, you have to maintain the optimum cash balance. When we say optimum, guys, that means mauna ang maximum na cash wherein you are not, wala ka na behind at some point, but at the same time, you're maintaining your capacity to pay. Okay, meaning, dili kayo kuan, excessive inyong cash. What will happen if excessive ka inyong cash? Meaning, sobraan ra kadako inyong kwarta gi-maintain. If that happens, you will more likely nga namoy mga opportunity cost na wala nakuha or wala na grab. Okay? Kay too much, if excessive kay ang money, then you could forgone a lot of opportunities. Kay natong type better way to invest that particular amount of money but wala exhaust for that particular purpose. So that's why you maintain the cash balance at optimum. Okay? Do not all the time nga mag-hold ka og daghan kayo nga money, then that particular money is not circulating. No? Wala nag-earn pug income. Ipundo ra nimo. So that's why the third one is you could determine how much of the excess cash you could invest. Pila yung excess na pwede pa ma-invest. Okay? Because actually, it is not advisable to hold a lot of money. Dira lang. It is very important na kanang kwarta nga nang hinubra na, you invest that one or you put that one for business. Aside from earning, of course, also have a very good impact to the economy. So we have different motives. So natay upat. I know you are familiar, but kung i-classify na to siya sa different motives of holding cash, we have 4 identified motives. First is transactions motive, meaning you will hold that particular cash in order for you to provide and suffice the need for money for that specific transactions. For example, bayad sa inyong sweldo, bayad sa tax, bayad sa interest, pampalit sa inventory. So those are transactions motive. You hold the cash to allot to this particular transactions. Another motive is you hold your cash for precautionary motive. So, dili na mo gawa si emergency fund. Okay? So, just like this time, very uncertain ang ato ang panudlanan. So, if you are akoan, you manage your cash, try to allot para sa to ang emergency fund. Okay? So, actually, this motive, actually, mo na nitong kuan, kanang, kumbaga tong budgeting, na para diri. So, precautionary motive, that's very important. Dili lang para sa usa ka organization, but even us, as an individual. Okay? Set aside, diba, si mo allowance, set ka sa imuhang pangkaon, that is transaction motive. Set ka pa imong pang tuition, that's transaction motive. Another one is precautionary motive. Pati ka mapadalaan sa imong parents. So, kuani mo 10% imong allowance. Kana baka. So that is precautionary motive. Next one is speculative. Unsa man ni? This is cash you allot for the possible opportunity that may be given to you. So for example, na particular opportunity nga pag mo invest ka na maka-earn ka buying stocks. So, if you're working or karon nga nag-work na mo, somebody of you is working, actually, you have salary, you could allot for this particular motive, speculative motive. You allot for your investment purposes. 5% sa akong sweldo for my investment. Okay? Pag mudako na imong investment fund, when the time comes, naming brato ang stocks, you could use your investment fund for investing or buying stocks. But do not limit for stocks. Pwede for business. What if sa inyong lugar kay walay koan, merchandising store. And then when you look at your fund for investment fund or for that particular fund kay enough na to put up that particular business. So pwede. For example, need kayo og water, potable water ana nga lugar. Then you could invest or set up a water refilling station. So, depende man gud guys kung saan nato makitaan ang opportunity. Once you identify the opportunity and you have enough fund to fund the particular investment or venture, then that is very helpful and advantageous to your part. And the last one is compensating balance. This is for bank requirements. Kay you have to open savings, you have to natay i-maintain nga compensating balance. Meaning, this is the minimum amount nga i-maintain nimo ana nga account. So we have savings account, naputay checking account. Savings account requires a lesser minimum cash balance compared to checking account, pero depende because there were a lot of terms and policy, depende po sa bank. But compensating balance is for that is the minimum requirement sa bank. Dapat dili mo ubos og ingani mo ang balance. So for example, the ATM account, they have compensating balance. BPI 3,000. So what happens if ubos kasi mo compensating balance? You have to pay or chargean ka ni bank because ning ubos ka sa imong compensating balance. So, these are the different motives pan holding the cash. When you do your budgeting for your own money, you allot. Nindot nga imo is classify nga kani nga kwarta para diri ana. And I recommend if you do percentage nimo. Pilay pang transaction, pang kaon, pang transportation, ingana, iputang nimo 70%. What happened to 30%? Precautionary ba? Speculative ba? And be careful when you do allocation sa imong cash or money. Because sometimes, pag ma-short si transaction, mudaritso na dahil pangwa sa lain nga fund. But that is not a good practice. Dili makuan ang discipline nimo ana. Meaning, you have to discipline yourself, especially in spending money. Okay? Because sometimes when magsaligtaan na pa ko isa ka fund diri, ma-short ko diri sa akong transaction, kuhaan na ako to dito. No, don't do that one. Make sure that you are spending within your budget. Okay? So there were different strategy for economizing cash. We have first one, strategy towards accelerating cash inflow and strategy towards decelerating cash outflow. Meaning, first strategy focuses on how you will accelerate papaspason inyong inflow pasulod sa kwarta. Second strategy is decelerating. Pahinayon ninyo ang inyong cash outflow. For the accelerating cash inflow, we have three. The lockbox method. Second is quick deposit of customers' checks. And the third one is establishing collection centers. So this particular method will allow the company or the organization to lessen the lag time, meaning mumubo ang time because when the customer pays, especially check, dili din na mo reflect sa account sa company. It would take days para mo reflect na nga kwarta. So the goal in accelerating cash inflow is to lesser the lag time or to reduce the time lag. So, when you deposit check, more or less that accounts for 3 days. Okay? Pero this time, very advantageous na karon because we could do real-time transfer. There were a lot of mobile wallets na pwede no. But if magkadako magud ang organization, of course they would go to bank. The bank also have their mobile banking. Actually, kana nga mga app or kana nga mga methods and means are very useful. A real-time transfer lang, one of their disadvantage is the charges. Magic charge. Minimal but if dagko na imong baryo nun, dako po siya og deduction. That's why again, basta po mga ingani, if you're concerned with the time lag, the company have to weigh the related expenses. Ana nga, ipa-reduce nimo ang time, pero na siya expenses involved para mas paspas ay mga charges. Those for the lockbox method, type po ni siya. This is the method wherein ang customer magpadala sa cheque sa post office, then ang bangko na ang mo-collect. Refer that one as lockbox method. So upon mailing the check, the bank officer mo collect and then reflect that one to the account of the company. So wala na buhaton ang company nga siya pa mukuha sa post office tayon i-deposit sa bank. Wala na. But again, it involves cost. So the company, if they want to undergo or to enter a contract of lockbox banking, then they have to consider the related costs involved. So that is lockbox method. Next is the quick deposit of customer's check. So this means the moment the check is deposited, it will automatically reflect to the account of the company. That is quick deposit. And last one is establishing collection centers. So this is decentralized collection. Pwede man gud magbutang ang company og isa ra ka collection center or daghan. Unsa may naa if daghan sila collection center, This will allow the customer to pay whatever center nga closest sa ilaha. So, mas dali makabayad si customer if dagan o collection center si company. Mga cash remittances, no? Pero actually, this time around, especially pag strike ni pandemic, nanggawas ang different ways, mga cash, mga online payments, di ba? GCash, Pimaya, PayPal. So, kanang bitaw mga online payments, which are, they are personally, I believe they are secure man pod if you link your bank accounts with this app. Secure man pod sila and the transaction is very fast, real time. Okay, so if the company would impose that particular mo utilize sila different app and companies involved in online payments, I believe that is a very cost effective and efficient also. Okay? So actually this particular mga strategy, I believe kung ano ni siya no, pang general lang. Pero if you are going to specify, especially nowadays, kay ko ana, mas dagang pag-way. Real-time payment is now very possible and very affordable. So are you familiar with InstaPay? Ana, those are online payments yapon. Their main concern is to have a real-time payment. Okay? The next one is the strategy for slowing cash outflows. Ang first one, you have to delay the payment. But make sure that upon delaying the payment, you are still within the due date. Wala kaming lapas sa due date. So that's why ang mga company, bayan na sila utang kanang ting due date na. They are slowing their cash outflow. What is the reason why you need to decelerate the cash outflow? Because there might be another usage for the money or for the cash na mas urgent or mas importante pa. So, that's why mas nindot if hinay ang outflow sa company. So, katong mga kwarta nga pwede pa gamiton. So, for example, naiutang ang company 100,000. Today is, let's say, July 26. Nya, baryonon pa to sa company on August 26. It has 1 month pa. So, imbes na mabayad ang company tomorrow, July 27, why not utilize ang money for something else? And then, pwede na siya mabayad pagka August 25 or 26. Making sure na wala po siya may lapas sa due date. So, that is delaying outward payment. The second is making payroll periods less frequent. Kumbaga kung pwede tingon ang sweldo, itingog na lang. Okay, so that is the second one. Third one is playing the float. So what do you mean by float? Float is the difference between the company's check and the book balance. So for example, sa imong accounting books, based sa record ni bookkeeper, na kay balance sa cash 150,000. But paglantaw nimo sa cheque as posted by the bank, ang balance nimo is 140,000. So the float there is the 10,000 difference between the book balance and the bank balance. So what does it mean by playing the float? Actually, you will just kay ang pag-reflect man gud sa cheque depende kung kano agi sa man i-deposit ni customer, i-collect ni supplier. So, when the check is deposited, of course, ma-reflect na sa bank statement. Okay? And then, when the company writes a check, meaning, for example, magbayad siya sa iyang supplier, mo-issue siya og cheque. The company will now, zaman, very crucial ang end of the month. Okay? Ang bayad ni company, for example, 30th of the month, gusto ni company pag close sa iyang book is dako pa iyang balance na cash. Gana siya nga dako pa ko ang katsa sa book sa bank po. Gana siya dako pa iyang bank balance because bank statement usually will be released at the end of the month. So the company would want to receive a bank statement nga naidako nga cash. However, dili pod ganan ang company nga ma-delay yang payment. So that's why on the date of maybe 30th day of the month, dila pa sila mo issue check because that is the due date and then that is also the releasing sa bank statement. So more or less, pag mail niya sa check sa iyang gibarian, dili pa na ma-withdraw ni payee. Katong gibarian niya sa payee. The company is the payer. So kung pag issue niya check is the end of the month or sa due date na, that's why ang ma-reflect sa bangko, the bank statement is still the kuan. Ito pa exact amount nga wala na kuan sa yang amount na gi-issue nga check. Diba? So, that is playing the flow. For example, ang iyang bank balance is 1 million. Then, the company na siya utang nga 400,000. So, para kung company ganahan nga 1 million gapon iyang ma-receive na bank statement for this month, of course, email niya ang checking of 400,000 at the time nga, kung man. Itunong niya nga, dira ang nating release sa bank statement and then, usa pa niya email ang checker. Pero within the date gyapon. Okay? So, at the end of the day, ang ma-receive na bank statement is still 1 million at the same time, ang iyang payable is nabarya na because na-mail naman niya ang checker. Wala pa lang na-withdraw ni payee. That's why 1 million gyapon iyang bank statement. Okay? That is playing the flow. For the essence, there is makuhaan gyapon og 400,000 iyang kwarta, wala lang ana nga date. Natunong lang jud nga bank statement is already released the moment nga makuha na ni supplier ang check. Okay? So those are for the cash management. Actually, there were a lot of strategies that involve for cash management, pero these were just the common, basic strategy nga gina-employ ni company. Okay, now let's continue to receivable management. Accordingly, we have these three. Receivable management involve these three: credit selection and standard, credit terms, and credit monitoring. Actually, this is, kumbaga ba, vital na ni. When you manage your receivable, dapat gina-employ ni sa company. Kaya sa man yung pautangon. Okay, if you are the company manager, credit manager, Pagpautang ra ba mo bisag kinsa? How will you select your customer nga pwede pautangon? Unsay mga standard nga giset nimo? So number 1 is very crucial. Who are the right person na pwede nimo pautangon? Okay, amiga ko ni, pwede na ko ni pautangon. Ako anak ko ni agaw, pwede na ko ni pautangon. Pwede ra ba na nga criteria na to? In business, that is not allowed. You have to assess critically the customer that you are going to transact or pwede nimo pautangon. So we have this 5 C's for the credit. If may pasar siya ng 5 C's, then you can now extend the credit to that particular customer. What are these 5 C's? First is the condition. You evaluate if the overall economic environment, not just the customer, but you, the company itself, have the capacity to allow this credit. Okay? Pwede mo ba, this is not the perfect time to extend the credit. So, dili sa mga magpautang. Maybe this time is at the verge of kuan pa, low sales ang company. Dili gamay pa tong cash inflow, magpautang pa jud. So, you assess the overall condition of the business and the industry. Okay? This is the very first thing. Is it the right moment na pwede magpautang? If not, then do not proceed. Dula pamanday kuan. Dili ta appropriate ang time and condition. So, dili sa magpautang. Okay? Second is the capacity. Capacity means the ability to repay the loan. You assess your customer. Na ba siya'y way to generate income, to generate money? So, if wala, then dili ta magpautang. Or yes, na siya'y means or method to generate money, enough ba to ang iyang income? For example, ang iyang iutangon is 100,000 worth. But iyang income is only 10,000. So you assess, well, that suffice and enough to pay its credit na 100,000. So if not, then you will not approve the credit. Third is capital. This is especially if your customer is a business entity or person. So you assess if kana nga negosyo, because when a business person, mo po na sila sa galaan nga mga debtor. Okay? Walay negosyo nga walay utang. That is true. Okay? Medyo na yung mga payables. So the creditor would assess pila may capital ani nila or ani niya siyang negosyo. Basig puro na po ni utang iyang capital. So, upon assessing, if you are the credit company or the lending company, pag-assess nimo siyang negosyo, the capital, ang equity, the owner's equity is 80%. Yun si anindot ni. Ako siya og equity siyang negosyo, meaning if there is profit, iya ka 80%. No? So, that is assessing the capital of the particular debtor or mangutangay. Next is the collateral. Though not all credit would ask for collateral, but at least if you have something na pwede makita nga pwede collateral, then that's very advantageous for your part. Okay? So collateral, of course, you all know what is collateral. Security. In kaso nga di ka bayad, natay, embargohon, ano. So, yeah. And lastly, the character. You assess the character of the customer or sa mangutang. What if idagan raday ang kwarta? Okay? You assess if na integrity na nga mangutangay. So, mubayad ba jud or unya-unyaon na lang ka kay nakuha na niya iyang tuyo, unya-unyaon na lang. So that is the character. Okay, so these are the 5C for credit selection and standard. Dili lang ka basta-basta magpa-utang. Because if mali-mali na yung pag-select sa inyong customer o sa inyong pautangon, then your receivable management will be at risk. Puro na lang nakuan bad debts. Puro uncollectible. Kung wala na to natarong og sinati ang mga tao nga to ang pautangon. For the credit terms, these were just the strategy of the company nga mubayad og sayo si customer. Because magkadugay ang utang, magkadako ang risk nga dili na mabayaran. Whereas na lang if magkasuhay na jud mo, ano? But yeah, we have the credit terms. You allow discount if makapay within the specific discount period. So I guess kabalo na mo ani 530 and 45. This means 5% discount within 30 days. So basta mabayad siya with the first 30 days, makaklaim ang customer o 5% discount. And then the due date will be after 45 days. So that is for credit terms. And the third one is the credit monitoring. Of course, if na mga receivable, the company should monitor. Kinsay wala nakabayad, kinsay dugay na kayo nga walay bayad-bayad. So we have these two techniques. Average collection period. So this is the number of days it takes para matingil ang Osaka receivable. So I believe you already encountered this one sa tong FS analysis. How many days would it take to receive the receivable? So with this, if makita sa company nga average collection period is too high, meaning taas kayo, too long, okay, then it will prompt the company to reassess their policies. Maybe lenient para kay sila sa ilang mga mangutangay. Walay tingil-tingil kay magsaligira nga si mangutangay na ang mubayad. So, reassess the policy. Maybe ang iya po dahil due date is maabot og 1 year. So, dili pud maayo. Do depende sa ilang utang. Pero if ang giutang is mga inventories, 1 year ang due date, then that is ano, that is not a good practice. Inventory may giutang, that is dapat bariyan dayon. Because inventory mo na gina-circulate sa company. Wala pagibayad, ang sana may pangpangumpra sa company. Okay? So, we have the average collection period. The company will use this amount or this figure to know if they are doing well with their collection. And the second one is the aging of accounts receivable. Though this one involves proper treatment sa mga receivable, you have to assess pila sa receivable ang dili na mabayaran. That is aging of accounts receivable. Magkadugay ang balance, meaning magkadugay nga outstanding na nga receivable, magkatako ang risk na dili na mabayaran. So you do the aging. Pila naman ka days ni nga utang? Kani nga utang, pila naman ni ka days? So you evaluate according to the age of the account, and then you assess pila ka percent aning balance ang pwede pa makolekt. Okay? Pila ka percent aning balance ang dili na makolekt. So that is aging. So what are the different collection techniques for the receivable? So pwede letter, imuha nga tagan og letter ang imuhang mangutangay, or bill, padala nimo bill, mao ni ang ilahang baryo nun. So ibutang nimo pila ang ilang baryo nun, kano sa ang deadline. Okay? Next is telephone call. Madalag letter, tawagan na nimo. Hindi pa dyan madalag tawag, you do personal visit. Tuon na personal na nimo add to. And then, if di madalag personal visit, you allow collection agencies. Collector na jud, professional na collector. The attorney, sa bakaha, and then legal action. Di jud mo bayad, and then dako-dako ang utang, then you do it legally na. You file suit. So that is for receivable management. Ito, very important, credit selection. Dila man magsugod tanan. And then credit terms are just the incentive and strategy para mabayad daw sa'yo si customer. Of course, if you are the customer, you will be enticed na mo claim sa discount. And lastly, and also important, monitoring, credit monitoring. Now let's go to inventory management. So inventory management, how will you track of your inventory? So we have this inventory models. Okay. Okay. So for the inventory, let me introduce to you this inventory model. So, sa maning inventory model, guys? These are the techniques pwede i-employ sa company in order for the company to optimize. Optimize nila ang lang or pag the inventory, the flow of inventory, dili mabot ang time nga magka-short ilang inventory, dili pun maabot ang time na inog na ilang inventory. So you have to identify pila ang level nga inventory i-maintain ang pila po ang inventory nga gi-order. Okay? So, if there's no inventory, walay operation si business. And if there's too much inventory, more or less, pwede na ma-spoil, pwede daot kung dili pod mahurot, diba? So, dapat you are at the optimum level of the inventory. So, nindot nga ma-arrive nato ang level wherein ang atong mga cost in handling the inventory is at minimum. The least cost, the better. Diba? So, accordingly, muna itong mga inventory cost. Have carrying cost, ordering cost, and setup cost. So, unsa man ni sila nga mga cost? This carrying cost is the cost for maintaining the inventory. Kung nana ang inventory sa warehouse, pila man ang carrying cost involved? Depende. Baka kinahanglan siya i-ref. So, kato. So, maintaining the inventory, that is what we refer the carrying cost. Any cost involves to maintain and sustain ng atong inventory is intact and safe. Next is the ordering cost. Isa man is the ordering cost. Ordering cost is the cost involved upon ordering, meaning, kumbaga mo na itong shipping fee. Pan-order, pila may mabayad na to. Of course, dili ra si inventory itong variant. Napod ni ordering cost. The next one is the setup cost. Setup cost is specifically for those inventory nga gina-manufacture. Okay? We have inventory nga in manufacturer, especially if that is a manufacturing firm. So that involves setup cost. Okay, next. Accordingly, if ang imong gina-order is gamay ra, okay, okay, for the carrying cost, this one, accordingly, if ang imong gina-order is gamay ra, ang imong holding cost or the carrying cost is also lower. Kay gamay ra man kag i-maintain na inventory. However, if ang imong gina-order is daghan, then your carrying cost will also increase. That's why, if we will make a relationship between the quantity of the inventory and the carrying cost, then they are directly proportionate. Meaning, magkadaghan ang imong orderon, magkadaghan ang imong i-maintain. So, magkadako ang imong carrying cost. Because you have more units to store. Next, how about the ordering cost? Pabali siya. The order cost is inversely proportionate with the quantity of the product you've ordered. Meaning, if mo order kag daghan, then you could save the ordering cost. Pero, kung gagmay-gagmayon na nimong order, of course, magkadako si order cost. Kay gamay naman ka gina-order, so daghan pag possible orders nga i-transact pohon. And every order that you've made involves order cost. Each order have its respective order cost. So that's why the more quantity you order at once, mas makasave ka sa imong order cost. Pero, pag gamay ray mo orderon, mo dako pod imong order cost because it will allow you to order more times pa. Okay? So we have this what we call economic order quantity model. So with this model, its main objective is to know the optimum or optimal amount or level of inventory that you should order. Okay? Pila man ang inventory quantity ang imong orderon. Per order no siya, guys. So, accordingly, if mo na imong orderon, you will have the least cost. Mo na pinakagamay nga cost nga imong mabayad if that is the inventory quantity nga orderon nimo. So we refer that one as economic order quantity model. So we have this formula, EOQ is equal to the square root of 2 times the annual usage, or the number of units annually demanded, times cost per order divided by carrying cost per unit. So we have the annual ordering cost. So the order cost, if you do the formula, actually you just modify the EOQ. So what is the formula for annual ordering cost? That is annual usage divided by the EOQ, or the quantity ordered, times the cost per order. For example, ang annual usage or annual demand is 5,000. Then ang imong gina-order is nag-order lang ka og 1,000 pieces per order. Ang shipping fee or the cost per order or ordering cost nimo is 100 pesos. So if you have 5,000 demand, then 1,000 imong gina-order, so it will take you 5 times. Kalima po ka mag-order balik-balik. And take note, taga-order, magbayad ka og 100 pesos. So, if we apply the formula, 5,000 na itong annual usage or demand, i-divide na to sa 1,000, taga-order na to 1,000 pieces, times 100 pesos per order. So, natay annual ordering cost na 500 pesos. That is for the ordering cost. For annual carrying cost, order size, or EOQ, divided by 2 times carrying cost per unit. So that is average inventory you hold times the carrying cost per unit. So the total cost, of course, the ordering cost plus carrying cost. Dili na to sa i-involve si inventory cost itself, because our main aim is to minimize the cost related ni inventory. Okay, let's have an example. Can you try to answer this one? Okay, in this problem, of course, gatagan ta og annual needs or the annual demand or the annual usage. You also have the cost also pesos. So you apply the formula and you can now identify the optimum quantity per order. Pila day dapat ang order? So when applying, we arrive with an answer nga 100 units. Meaning, taga-order dapat 100 ka inventory ang ato ang i-order. So we just apply 2 times 500 times 50 divided by 50. and then you get
Excuse me.
the, okay, yes, gang.
Asa gikaning kuan ma'am times 50 pesos ma'am sa 2 times 5,000 times 50.
That is the cost per order. You, di ba natay cost per purchase order? Ano yung sa ato ang problem?
Ay, okay ma'am. Thank you ma'am.
Yeah. So, mo na ang involved. Ilang gis sa ang cost per purchase order. It involves clerical cost, stationery, postage, and telephone, etc. So, total of 50 pesos. Kapag mo-order daw ka, of course, manawag daw ka, magpadala pa ka sa postage office, post office, and the clerical cost. So that's why 50 pesos, mo na itong gi-apply sa tuang formula.
Given na nadaan ma'am.
Yeah, it will be given to you.
So cost per purchase order na nakabutang daan ma'am. Dili na mi kami kuan pa ma'am kung unsa to ma'am.
Yeah, yeah. Trade order cost or cost per order. Nga na rin yung mga term. Okay? Any questions? So very direct ang formula, guys. You just have to identify from the problem what are the appropriate figures ang inyong i-substitute. Annual ordering cost plus the annual carrying cost, meaning makagastos siya og 5,000 pesos. Sa napagkuha, kung annual ordering cost, diba 5,000 ang demand for the annual needs divided by 100 the EOQ, 100 man atong taga-order upon applying the EOQ. So, mo-order ka og kapila man? Ka 50. 50 times ka mo-order. So, 50 times ka mo-order, taga-order, 50 imo ang baryo nun. That's why 50 times 50, your order cost is, total order cost for the year is 2,500. Apart from that, napadyo tayo, carrying cost. Carrying cost ang formula, order size, meaning pila ka quantity imong i-order, taga-order, 100 because we follow the EOQ. 100 divided by 2 times 50. So meaning, your annual carrying cost is also 2,500. So the total cost involved in inventory is 5,000. So nag-equal na to 5,000 annual ordering cost plus annual carrying cost.
Excuse me ma'am, ang 100 ma'am dito na siya sa ganina ma'am nga answer sa units.
Yes, that is EOQ. Okay, let's continue. The next concept is the reorder point. Very quick lang. Reorder point is that certain amount or level of the inventory wherein dapat nakamu order. Dili po ta, if you're a businessman, you will not order anang inventory ka na sa nga, kurot na. No. Dapat mo order ka, you will, alam, ano pa nabilin gamay. Pero, you have to specify, ano sa nga level, at what point of your inventory, na dapat, mo order na ka o pag-o. So, mo order ba ka nga, nakuha nag 20% ang yung inventory, order ba ka nga, isa na lang nabilin, so ana no, that is what we term reorder point. The point that triggers a new order. Meaning, pag maabot na ng point of inventory level, you have to order again. Okay? We also have what we refer safety stock. Okay? This is stock you delivery sa stock, then og kay mga safety stock more or less if nay mamalit then tanggihan mo si customer. So you have now um opportunity loss. Sayang, that is already part of the earnings unta. But since wala mo kay stock, then yung palit na lang lain. Aside from that, pwede na dili ka mo balik si customer ana nga store nimo because ang nasa na wala na stock dira dito lang ka sa itong gipalitan una. So aside from losing the sale, you will now lose your potential customers. So that's why it's very important that you have enough inventory at hand. Okay? So how will you compute for your reorder point? First, you have to identify the lead time. So meaning lead time, guys, this is the amount of time from purchasing your inventory until maabot ang inventory sa iyang destination. Ilan man ka days would take? Does it take 1 week? Does it take 5 days? So depende. Dapat kabalo ta sa tuang lead time. Plus the safety stock. The safety stock is prerogative ni owner. Pila man atong i-consider as safety stock. So depende no. So how will you compute the average lead time usage? Una, identify na to ang lead time. Multiply with the average usage per unit of time. So may meaning ana? You have to identify pila may magamit or pila demand taga-adlaw. For example, kani nga product A. Ang demand ani niya taga-adlaw is 100. That is per day. And then, para mo-order ka ani nga product, it would take 5 days from purchasing to delivering and then arriving the destination. It takes 5 days. So, dapat, nakay allowance na 100 products per day and then 5 days pa man. Napakag 5 days. So 100 times 5, that is 500 pieces. That is now what we term average lead time usage. Meaning, within the lead time, na 500 pieces, quantity ang i-demand or magamit. Na, no? So while ga-travel pa, at least napakay extra nga 500. That is the reorder point plus your safety stock. It will be provided by the problem. Pila to safety stock. So na sa problem. So let's say imong safety stock is 100 units. Nya ganiya tong gi-multiply lead time 5 days times 100 units demanded so 500 plus the safety stock na 100. So a total of 600 units. Meaning, that is now your pre-order point. Basta gay maabot na imong inventory level of 600, you have to order na. Kontak ka na sa supplier, ma'am, we will order new stock. So, pag-order, lead time nga 5 days. So, 5 100 taga-adlaw. So, you have the enough quantity of inventory on hand. Order point. Pag 600 na lang order na ka. Okay, let's have a problem. Okay, try
Kasi ma'am,
to, yes, gang.
ang pareha rin nasa kanuna sa libro ma'am kining maximum usage of materials time, maximum lead time para makuha ang average, no?
Yeah, that's the same. Do you mean the average lead time usage?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, parehas na gang.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. So sa tuang kuan, module, the formula for reorder point is maximum usage of materials times maximum lead time. Meaning, pila ang, pila ang pinakadaghan nga magamit per day times sa pinakataas nga lead time. Because, pwede man good ang ihatag sa problem, it would take 3 to 5 days para maabot ang inventory. When you apply the formula, you use the maximum. Okay? Dili ka tong 3 days. Diretso to sa maximum time. For the usage of materials, if ang giingon sa problem, ang magamit or mabaligya per day is 10 to 15 units, we use the maximum units or maximum usage. Okay, let's have this problem. Try to answer or solve it on your own. Okay? In this problem, ang safety stock daw is 250. And then, the lead time is 6 days, meaning it takes 6 days upon purchasing until arriving to the destination. And then the annual usage is 25,000 units, meaning you will use total usage for the particular material X is 25,000. And what if there are 220 working days? So what is the reorder point of material X? This time na natay safety stock, natay lead time, ang wala na to is the saman. Can we see? Average usage. Wala may magamit taga-adlaw. How will you get this one? Your usage per day, di ba na may annual usage? Pwede na ninyo i-convert sa daily usage by dividing the 25,000 units with 220. So kung i-divide nimo ang 25,000 units, 25,000 man ang pinanglan sa isa ka tuig, niya sa usa ka tuig daw 220 working days, i-divide nimo na, meaning you need 113.636 material X per day. Diba? Kay 25,000 man sa tuig. Taga-adlaw, 113.636. And then, kabalo na ta pilay gamit to ng taga-adlaw. You multiply to the lead time. Nga? 6 days. Okay? So, that is 684. Wala na siya guys. That is due to rounding off. If you will not get the one exact, because one man siya good. Point, my decimal point. So, 684. And then, that is your average lead time usage. The usage you will have within the lead time nga 6 days. Plus the safety stock, you will now get your reorder point. 684 plus the reorder point plus the safety stock nga 250. So reorder point will be equal to 934 units. So 934 units is the level wherein pag maabot na ana, you will now have to order new stock. Okay? That is the concept of the reorder point. Question so far?
Ma'am, nga nung 684 ang units. Ang gawas lagi mo 681.81.
So rounding off na lang, I guess. 25,000 divided by 220. have 113 times 6.
Yes, ma'am. Ang
Hindi,
gawa 6 ma'am.
6. Okay, that is 681. Yeah.
Ma-round off man siya kuan ma'am.
Oh,
682.
yeah.
So 682 ra siya ma'am.
Yeah, that is 682 pala. Okay, that's correct. That is 682. Okay? 682 plus 250, that is now 932. Okay? Yeah, so that is the reorder point. So puhon, if you are going to encounter the particular problem, kato lang, una ang tawag ninyo is the lead time. Laka days it will take. Then, the usage per day. Ana nga product. You multiply, and then the answer or the product upon multiplying, you add now the safety stock, and then you get the mana nato ang reorder point. Question so far? So that's it.